But sometimes you have a wild kid. Sometimes you have a kid who's affected from the outside through learning disabilities, trauma, abuse, and they act mamish terrible. What should you do then? So listen to this in Nesivas Shalom, Negea also to TP. Muvur b'svar makdoshim. The Divrei Shmuel and Vayishlach. It says that by Yaakov, Vayishtachavu sheva pa'amim ad gishtoi ad ochiv. He bowed 7 times until ad gishtoi, until he reached ochiv. Until he reached ad ochiv. He reached what? Pashup Pshat, he reached his brother physically. He says, no. Shegam etzel Esav harasha, hoyse b'mamakim nekuda pnimius, shehoye boy ochiv shel Yaakov. Deep down, even in Esav, he deep down he was a brother. This is my brother. There was a piece of him that was good, that loved Yaakov. But there were 7 layers of klipos, of dirt, spiritual, emotional dirt, that covered him over. With each time he bowed, he pushed down, he was machnia. Each one of those levels of the klipos, vegia ad ochiv. He revealed the brudeshaft. He revealed the brotherly love. Hainu lenekudas ha'achva sheboy. Umiyad nichna Esav, and then there was no walls anymore. Nichna Esav had achna beichabkeu, beishakeu, and as we know, Chazal say this is, even though Esav son of Yaakov, here it was real. But think about it. He had a problem. Esav, the biggest Rosh in the world, with the maximum amount of klipos around him. How did he get through? It's 2 lessons over here. One thing is, he didn't get through by yelling at him. He didn't get through by screaming, what's going to be with you? Look at you, you're such a monster, you're a terrible Rasha. It didn't work. He got through with hishtachavaya. He got through with sending gifts. He got through by taking care of his own ego and bowing and having his batlus, and that's what made the walls calm down. That's the first lesson. If you're trying to reach somebody who has walls around them, from abuse, from trauma and hatred, whatever it is, you're never going to get through those walls to reach the achiv, to reach the brother, to reach that person, right? You're never going to reach it if you go at them with being tough. Because what happens when you go at somebody being tough? You get more walls. They put up more walls. Less communication. They're hearing you less. So those kids who are harder to reach, they need more hishtachavaya. They need to melt those walls. Kadoin agnamasu. Harim kadoin, right? We have to melt those, and there's only one way. If you have an ego, it ain't going to happen. Hishtachavaya says in Sefer Makdoshim, Nesivas Shalom brings down in Yom Kippur, why do we bow down? That's the ultimate of selfless. I am nothing. He brings it down because Kedushas Levi says Yom Kippur is not mechaper unless we reach a bechina of ayin. If you think you're a somebody, Yom Kippur can't be mechaper for you. You have to reach a bechina, I am a nothing, I am a nobody. And what represents I am a nothing, I'm a nobody? When I'm on the floor, I bow down. I'm mevatel myself legamri. Yaakov went to Esav. He wanted to reach the brotherly love inside of him. Hishtachavaya. Unbelievable. The second nekuda that we can learn, he didn't need to create love. The love was there all along. It was just trapped inside. He had to just reveal the love. How do you reveal the love? By melting those walls. When you melt the walls, you reveal the love that's there because a brother is a brother. A yid is a yid. Chelik l'kai mimal. A son is a son. A child is a child. A parent is a parent. Says the Nesivas Shalom, Vim etzel Esav kacha. If this worked by Esav harasha, kal v'chomer etzel yeled Yehudi kosher. Can you imagine you're dealing with an erlicha Jewish child? Shenishmasei mitachas al kisei hakavod chutzva. His neshama is carved out of the kisei hakavod. Asher gamim klipa kosher makifasei. Even if he has a terrible covering, a terrible klipa that is covering him up. The mechanech, the teacher, the educator, the parent, needs to figure out a way how to get into that pnimius, to get through the walls. And this is very similar like when you want to take care of diamonds. You want to become a diamond cutter, a diamond finisher. Al derech shemalatshim yahaloimim. Sometimes you have a rough diamond. It's very hard to figure out where the right spot is to cut through, to be able to make it perfect. It's hard to find a suitable angle to cut through. Avalim yad uman, an expert, the hand of an expert, im yad uman metapelas by, matzliach limtzai es hanakuda hamevukeshes umaskilulot shay at shemoitzi mitachas yada yahaloim l'noyelu teferes. An expert can figure out the best point, where to deal, how to get in, through the bad parts, and then you're going to see, he's going to reveal an exquisitely beautiful diamond. The same thing with our children. Sometimes they're covered in dirt. You have to know where to talk, and when to talk, and how to talk, all of that. We heard last night from Rav Yisrael Zan, who came here, and he spoke beautifully. Einikol of Rav Elyashiv Zatzal. And he used to go ahead and take a lot of pictures. When he was a shtickle Vilda kid, he was a wild boy, and he liked to take pictures. So he used to go over to Zayd, and he used to take pictures of him, and chap him, whatever he was doing. You know, if he read something, he did something, he was taking pictures. And it was way past what was respectful. Rabbi Elyashiv didn't say anything. It was 2 months after these pictures that he was taking, it was bothering him. 2 months after, he says, I remember exactly where I was standing in Bnei Brak. Right? Rabbi Elyashiv was in Yerushalayim. He came to Bnei Brak for something, and he was walking with me, and he told me, you know, not everything that happens you need to take pictures of. Not everything, you know, you don't always have to. And he gave a musar, a little criticism that, you know, what you did 2 months ago wasn't maybe so proper. So he said, Zayda, I accept what you're saying, but why didn't you tell me then? Why'd you wait 2 months? Bnei Brak, a different city, why'd you wait? So Zayda told him, Rabbi Elyashiv said, everything needs to have the right time and the right place. You have to remember that. Even if you want to say something, the right time and the right place. Rabbi Elyashiv understood that if he would have done it then, maybe he was annoyed, maybe he would have come across annoyed, maybe the boy would have felt more insulted. It's so much easier to talk when it's not happening right then. You tell a kid, you know, 2 months ago, Chalamayid, I saw that when you did whatever, it wasn't so good. It's Hanukkah time, right? He could accept that. You tell him, not B'shas Maisa, they could accept it. So if you just want to vent, you're going to always criticize B'shas Maisa. But if you want to change the child, you want to imbue the concept into the child, you got to think about doing it when he's going to be the most makabel, when he's going to be able to receive it the most. This is genius. Rabbis say this is genius. Rabbi Elyashiv was just genius. You want to change the kid at 5, at 10, at 20. Over time, you want to have an effect on him. So it's not about, okay, I did my job, I said it, criticized him. How many parents, they say things that's ineffective because they say it all wrong. And then you hear them saying it, how many times do I have to tell you the same thing? That's a raya that you failed. Because if you would have done it correct, you wouldn't have to say it over and over again to that kid. Now, each kid is different. That's what he said, like a diamond. Each one is different. It's true, you have that older kid, first 2 kids, whatever you told them, it listened and it worked. Could be. Now you got this other kid, he's a little bit more challenging. Or you got this other one who has more challenges. And therefore he's not masugel to hear. You got to up your skill. But the bottom line is, you shouldn't be saying things just to say them. Everything has its time and its place. You look at the kid, you say, you know, this kid has a problem. He's not doing this thing correctly. I accept upon myself as a parent, as a teacher, I'm going to slowly affect change in him, to change him from the inside, right, that he should become different. That's how you change people. The problem is it's so much harder than just whacking him and screaming at him and venting when you're in the moment. Who's even going to remember about it 2 months later? And then you say, I don't know if I should bring it up. But then, of course, we're taking the easy way out. Real chinuch, as he said before, it's not the pressure. It's lahavi aisai. So you have to think, even if you want to say something to a child, when is the best time? Is now the best time when their hand is in the cookie jar? Again, I told you to do that. How can I do that? Do you really feel? Right? The Rav Pam said that the rosham of anger takes away the rosham of your message. The impression of the anger dilutes the impression of your message. You have a great message. You didn't listen to me. You should behave better. Great messages, right? Parents, we have the best messages. But if we're angry, it dilutes the effect that you don't change your child. You don't change the student. Everything has to have its place and its time.